about to get a fisherman off his butt and on the beach or on a boat and out to a protest, but something is scaring fishermen the way a loud noise will scatter the trout. That something is a growing fear that the greenocrats want to restrict or ban fishing just about everywhere. The White House insisting today that's not the case. In a statement sent to Scoreboard, the White House explained its proposed new rules, quote, do not contain a zoning plan, and they do not establish any restrictions on recreational fishing or on public access, nor make any judgments about whether one ocean activity or use is better than another, end of quote. So does that settle the matter? Joining us for a fair and balanced debate, Ryan Euling of PETA and Jeff Crane, the president of the Congressional Sportsmen's Foundation. I'm going to start with you, Jeff, there real quick. We heard it yesterday. There was outrage. It was all over the news. When you heard it, what did you think?
Well, we've been working with the administration to try to ensure that recreational angling was going to be looked after as they move forward with an ocean policy and their task force. We're really pleased to see the statement that came out today. We only saw that this afternoon, affirming that they recognize the societal, recreational, conservation values of angling, sport fishing, and so we're pleased to see that, and hopefully they're going to take a look at the rest of our recommendations, and in the final task force recommendations, they'll incorporate these. Well,
what do you think happened? Do you think they're actually thinking about banning fishing in all the nation's waters, and then in response to outrage, they changed their mind?
No, I didn't. I don't think that. I don't think we ever suggested that. I think it was really more about some of the nuances about access, about what does marine spatial planning mean, for example, and is that going to mean ocean zoning? And this is the first time this afternoon we saw some really clear positive statements that we really appreciate, and so we're looking forward to continuing to work with them. And as I said, the final proof is going to be in what comes out of their task force recommendations here.
All right, so Ryan, a win for fishermen. Is that a loss for PETA?
No, not by any means. I mean, it seems like there's a lot of speculation at this point, but certainly PETA as an organization is going to support any efforts to reduce the suffering of animals, whether it's a cat or a catfish. And certainly fish are able to feel pain in exactly the same ways that cats and dogs do. They're equally as intelligent as the animals that share our homes, so there's really no reason to treat them any differently.
So, but you'd be okay with a complete ban on all fishing of any kind in all American waterways?
Absolutely. I mean, just as we would be opposed to people beating their dogs or beating their cats, any cruelty to animals that can be avoided should. And the fact of the matter is, there's so many humane alternatives available nowadays, whether it's hiking or kayaking or canoeing or camping, that contribute to the local economy and give people the experience of being in the wilderness without inflicting any unnecessary pain on animals. That's going to be the compassionate
What about
choice.
it, Jeff Crane? Is catching a fish, is that cruel to the fish?
Not in my estimation. I'm not Dr. Doolittle, so I can't talk to the fish. But in seriousness, when we think about this, we look at the tradition of fishing, but we also look at all the conservation value of fishing. If we manage the resource like we do in the United States, which has got the greatest success record of managing fish and wildlife, based on the state's authority to do that, this is a renewable resource. It's something that if you manage it well, which we do here, that you can take it and utilize it and eat it for it's healthy, and why not? And right. It's a tradition, and
come on,
it's
Ryan.
a great opportunity.
Come on, Ryan. Don't fish. Don't eat meat. What are we supposed to eat?
Well, there's plenty of options out there. I mean, vegetarian and vegan options are more popular than ever. People can go to Burger King nowadays and get a veggie burger. These options are right on the menu. So when we have the choice, as Jeff talks about, when you have the option of killing an animal purely for your amusement, as opposed to doing something like hiking or camping or kayaking.
Let me stop you there. Are you okay with fishing to eat and not fishing for recreation?
Well, the fact of the matter is that's not a situation that most people face. We live in a developed society where we have...
I'm just asking you, philosophically, are you okay to catch a fish and eat it?
I mean, if that's what it comes down to, it's you versus the fish, that's a situation people have to decide for themselves.
I don't mean if the fish is going to eat you. I mean, can you go to a river, catch a fish, and cook it for your family?
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. If it's a subsistence thing, that's a situation you need to decide in that moment. But for the vast majority of Americans, these are people that are killing fish purely for their amusement. There's really no excuse for killing animals in a time when we have so many humane alternatives available.
What about letting the fish go? If you catch a fish, let it go. Is all right?
Well, the tragic reality is that the vast majority of those fish die after, because, I mean, you can imagine if you put a hook through a dog's mouth, that's going to be a fatal injury to them.
Right. All right, Jeff, let me ask you this. I tried to ask you that in the beginning. Maybe I didn't ask it properly. Where did this story come from? I mean, it just wasn't made up. Was this someone in the White House saying, hey, what we need to do is ban all fishing?
No. Again, I get back to it's the process. There have been 2 iterations of this document to date, and it still had some very serious unanswered questions. We're talking about losing access, and it's not going to happen maybe in one fell swoop the way you're talking about it, but what if it happens little by little? Look at the California coast. Already 10% of the California coast is off limits to any kind of recreational fishing, and, you know, that's a bad trend. And back to the idea, I mean, I like to fish because I like to eat them, and I think they taste good, and I enjoy it. It's a great family time. I like to take my daughters out onto the Chesapeake Bay, and we go fishing, and we talk about the conservation value. There's 60 million anglers in this country. It raised $125 billion. We're the sole single biggest supporters of conservation in the country. All the environmental groups put together don't spend the kind of money that sportsmen and women do to look after the resource. So if we want to utilize it, that's fine. I'm not telling this gentleman what he should eat or what he shouldn't eat.
We're running out of time real quickly. I mean, you're talking about shutting down some major industries in the U.S.
Right. Well, if I can respond to Jeff's point.
Very quickly.
I mean, when we're talking about raising fish for the express purpose of killing them, that's what we're really talking about. If we're trying to remove ourselves from this industry, we can remove an immense amount of cruelty that animals face. These are animals that suffer in exactly the same way as cats and dogs. And if we wouldn't put a hook through a dog's mouth, there's really no excuse to do the same thing to a fish.
All right. I'm pretty sure that's not what we're talking about. I'm not talking about eating the dog either. All right, Ryan Huling from PETA, thank you very much. And Jeff Crane, Congressional Sportsmen's Foundation President, thank you very much, guys.
Thank you.
All right, last chance to vote on Chief of Staff Rahm Emanuel.